down now.
Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. It is Friday, March 21st. We're at the spring equinox, solstice, and with triple witching Friday today. Glad everybody can join us, and hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to start off with a look at news for today. Let's see what we had. I think there was some red news this morning, right? There was some no red news for the U.S. dollar today. I thought there was some red news today, but I guess not. Okay.
No.
No. Okay. So nothing, no red news here. Let's take a look at the U.S. dollar and the euro. That's Bitcoin. Let me take a look at euro U.S. dollar. On the hourly, we have a strong U.S. dollar, and the euro is weak. So since we have a strong U.S. dollar, if I start looking at each of the currencies, Aussie U.S. dollar should be weak, but it's strong as well. Interesting. But that I'm on the 1 minute. Let's go to the hourly. It's weak. Yes, on the hourly it's weak. Euro U.S. dollar should be weak on the hourly, and it is. GBP U.S. dollar should be weak, and it is. It's fighting. They're trying to fight back, though. You can see. So let me take a look at the U.S. dollar just to get an overview. So U.S. dollar very strong, pulling back a little bit, and that's why we're getting that move up on the GBP U.S. dollar and so forth. But it's very strong, so I think it will continue going strong. So Euro U.S. dollar having a little bit of a pullback, but should continue falling. GBP U.S. dollar has a big pullback, but also should continue falling. New Zealand U.S. dollar also very weak and should continue falling. They're looking to take out the lows over there. We can look at USD CAD. That should be going up. It's struggling. USD Swiss going up very strongly. So USD CAD in comparison, the US dollar is having a little trouble with the CAD today. So there must have been some CAD news of some kind that might have affected that. USD JPY very strong currently. Oil was rocking yesterday and is again going quite nicely. And silver trying to push back to the upside after a downward move yesterday. Gold, big huge drop yesterday, but looking to turn back to the upside here. So interesting here. Some of the stocks we look at, Tesla, very strong today. Let's see, Nvidia is battling to get back up there, but it's having a tough time. MicroStrategy, it's struggling a little bit. Microsoft also struggling. You can see all these stocks are having some troubles, because of what's been happening lately. So Meta is also in a bit of a struggle. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the stocks. Google, that's IBM. Google also, even Google is struggling. So you have to be really careful if you're playing these stocks at this point. Let's take a look at Apple and Amazon. Amazon, yeah, you can see everybody's in the struggle. We've been in a sideways move here overall. So we're inside this big, huge, choppy affair. So it's tough going for the traders right now with these stocks. Apple is similar. As you can see, we're inside this very large sideways movement. So it's looking like, because we've dropped way down like that on Apple, and now we're chopping up and down, the likely scenario is that we could continue down further. That's a possibility. If I take a good look at it, let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, that's what it looks like. that we're going to get further drops here in Apple, unfortunately, because we were flying high there for a while, 250, and now we're at almost at 200. See the daily. Yeah, very, very weak looking chart now. Weekly. Yeah, we're right on the precipice of falling off and heading down to like 195. So that's definitely a possibility there. So the stocks are taking a beating, but the NAS today. Let's take a look at Bitcoin since I'm there, right there. Bitcoin is also just kind of hanging around, and we're at we made it to the first gap here, and it's looking like it wants to fall some more. You know, right now it's hanging on precariously, but I think we're going to be heading down to take out the lows before we get a turnaround on Bitcoin. So opportunity to make some to get a good deal on Bitcoin, probably below 75,000. It's looking like that's what's setting up for Bitcoin here. So right now on Bitcoin, we're inside a very large fourth wave. See, we can see it quite clearly. So the expected move is for Bitcoin to continue down and take out all these lows. That's not good, but it's good for people who want to buy it anyways, back down at 75,000 or thereabouts. So that's kind of what I see there for Bitcoin. All right, so that's what's going on. So Peter, you played Tesla this morning and had some success.
Yeah, you want me to show you my trade?
Sure, you could do that. Let me just say a little. Go ahead while you set up. I'll just remind those out there on YouTube land, if you are watching us, we're glad you can join us. And if you find the information that I'm imparting here useful, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Everything here we're doing is for educational purposes only, of course. We're not giving any advice or, and so on how to enter and exit your trades. We do trade live in front of you and so forth, but you do that at your own risk, of course. All right, so go ahead, Peter, anytime.
Okay, so let me share my screen, start sharing. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so basically on the 1 minute chart is what I trade. Going back to the open today, I caught this move up. I caught the move down, so I made money long, short. But the trade that I'm most excited about is this one here. 1, 2, 3 top, down to 3, up to 4. And then I caught this 1, 2, 3 top at the end of 4, caught this run down. So 1, 2, 3, down to 3, up to 4, down to 5, and this is where I got out. And then I went to have a shower, and I missed this trade here. That was followed by a 1, 2, 3 bottom. You can see that better on the 5 minute chart. 1, 2, 3, up to 3, down to 4, sideways, up to 5, down, and now we're going down again. I think we're in the process of seeing a 1, 2, 3 top. I'm looking to go short, maybe, subject to confirmation. I don't know if this is wave 5, like this is wave 4, up to maybe wave 5, or maybe they're going to push it higher. I don't know. Maybe they're going to take out this high before they take it down. But anyway, like I said before, I'm most excited about this trade here because Lennox taught me this yesterday. When I was in wave 4, I was looking for a way to get out, to go short, and here it was right here. Small 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, down to 3, up to 4, down to 5, and then I got out here. So had I been at my screen at that point, there was a 1, 2, 3 top here, which you can see better on the 5-minute chart. You can see it right here: 1, 2, 3, up to 3, down to 4, up to 5, and now presumably we're going down unless yeah, it looks like we're going down, so I'm going to go short. Is that okay?
That sounds great, Peter. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Be careful about going short at this moment, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to take the market up again to do a better wave 5. I don't know.
Yeah, we're still quite strong to the upside, so this might just be a little bit of a lull play to induce sellers.
But it's amazing once you get the structure down in your mind, and you behave, you pay attention to structure. It really improves your trading. And as you can see, I like to draw trend lines and lines because it reduces the monotony and boredom of just sitting there staring at a blank screen. So yeah, so right now I'm just waiting to see what Tesla's going to do. I haven't pulled the trigger yet because it could be that we're still in wave 4 of sorts.
Well, that red line you're just drawing there looks like they're taking out all those sellers, or those buyers, sorry, below that. So they might just do that, take them out, and then turn this thing back around to go back up again. So do be careful.
I didn't like this wave 5. I mean, it was just a blip up. So it could be that they're going to go up and take that high out, and then go further. So yeah, that's a good observation on your part. It pays to be careful. Like, you can't be too careful in this business, especially with Tesla, because if you get into a trade at the wrong time, the wrong way, the market can go against you, especially with Tesla, badly. Like, you know, a Tesla can move $1 or $2 against you in a heartbeat.
Yes, sir.
And since I'm trading 300 shares, that's $600. So you have to be super careful, and which I am. I've had 3 trades today, 3 successes. And the other reason I didn't take this trade down here, which you can see on the 5-minute chart right here, another reason I didn't take it was something you said the other day, which was, if you're in a good profit position, you may not want to risk giving some of the money back. You may just want to sit on your hands and enjoy your profits. So that stuck with me. So I figured, well, three for 3 and up $1,000. Maybe I just want to, take it easy.
Yeah, sounds good. Reasonable. Yeah, there are always opportunities. So, just look for the best ones, right?
It looks like we might be getting back-to-back 1, 2, 3 tops on the 1-minute chart. I don't know what you see, but
I can take a good look at it here, and then we'll see.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
All right. So let me share my screen again. Good afternoon, Marquis. I'm looking at the NAS here, and I just wanted to call out the candle. I've got these 3 4-hour candles here. I'm using an indicator that puts the 3 4-hour candles on the chart for me. Just want to see what they're doing, and especially the current one. And so the middle candle, we opened way down here. We went and took out the low of the first candle. So I'll call this the first candle, the second candle, the third candle. So the third candle is the current candle. So we took out the low of the the first candle, but was price rejected and came back up and continued up, taking out the high of the first candle, and then stopped right up here. Now the new candle, the current candle, has opened, and immediately they're pulling back. So I would have expected that. We have a big, strong move. I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback, but this can turn into a wick pretty quick, or a tail, and we can continue because we have so much strength in this second candle that I'm expecting a continued push back to the upside. So right now, at this point, if I was drawing that candle, this is what it would look like. We opened right here, and that's the base, and now this is the wick of the tail of the candle that we're painting, and now we would look to want to continue up in that candle, in that 4-hour candle. So what I want to see here, and what they're doing currently on NAS, they're taking out all the buyers over here, here, and here. Anyone who had stops in here are getting taken out. So it's possible they could even come down and take out these guys. That seems a stretch at this moment in time. And the reason why is I've got an order block here, and I've got gaps here, gaps here. So this is probably sufficient for them to turn things around at this point now. And so I would be looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom in here to continue back to the upside. We're in a very strong move to the upside, and overall, so we're just taking a little hiatus, a little dip here, and I would look for them to continue pushing to the upside. So given a chance to jump in, I would take it. Even right now, looks like a good opportunity right there. I can be a little bit more patient and wait for closure above the high here, and look for a 1, 2, 3 at that point to continue pushing up. So something like that is possible. Now, again, I have these gaps here, so I'm looking for the gaps to hold as support at this level and continue pushing up off them. If these gaps fail, then the order block is the last line of defense, and then this low is definitely the last line of defense. If we break that low, there's gaps down here that possibly they could come to, but I think that maybe this might suffice for them to come to this gap and turn us around. So we'll see if that works. I can also tell by our structure, the overall structure will give me a good idea how far down we're going to go. So it is definitely a possibility that they can go through this gap. I'm hoping they don't, but we'll see if they do. So there they are. They're going through it. We can turn into a tail here real quick. So this would be similar to what Tesla is doing probably right now. Yes, Tesla is doing the same thing. So with Tesla, there's a gap right here. There's a gap here. So there's a gap here that's fresh and open. And so these guys under here were where lots of stops were sitting have been taken out in here. We've got a 1, 2 here, and we've chopped up. We're coming down, more than likely to come down into this gap. Looks like that's what they're heading to do. There's also an order block there. So it looks like possible price to come back into this area.
What price is that, Lennox?
We're at 244.51. Oh, you mean where the gap is?
Yeah.
244.13 area.
So it's really not down very far.
No, not too far. So that would be the possible stopping point here for price. And that would give us a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure here. And we could see a turnaround at that point. So we go back to NAS again. Let me see what S&P is doing. S&P is doing similar. We've got 2 gaps there plus the order blocks. And we're into the last gap right now. And NASDAQ again. So NASDAQ, oh, okay, they're coming right down to take out the low. So quite interesting. So that was a possibility that they could take that low. So the order blocks are not holding. The low is in jeopardy. So this is kind of how you have to gauge it. So we're getting quite a tail on the current 4-hour candle. Will they take that low or not? I'm going to mark that low. There will be lots of stops under that low as well. So you would, if they come this far down, you would think they would take that low out because there would be stops there, and there is a gap just below that one. So this is a similar gap to what I just marked off on Tesla. So you would think that that's a reasonable area for them to drop into. Let's see if they do. It looks like they might do that.
Yeah, they're seriously thinking about that, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So they've taken everybody out up here, so only these guys are left here. I'm watching Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin's in a very similar type of a situation as well. Okay, so we're getting they're not taking that low out at this point. Let me go back to Tesla again, see what they did. So Tesla, they're not even coming close to that low here, to that gap. So they're turning already on Tesla. We're breaking the first high and the second high, previous highs. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 already, and now a retrace back would give us a 1, 2, 3 that would keep us going to the upside here. So they've just swept these guys out here. All these guys here were swept, and now they're turning it around pretty quickly here without going down to the gap. So that's quite interesting here, that they didn't come all the way down into the gap and the order block. So there's a big order block and the gap, but they didn't even come to it. They came to this order block here instead, and that's it. That's as far as they want to come, it looks like. Okay, so if we get a retrace now, just make this a little bigger, retrace, we've got a gap right here, and we've got a gap right here. Yeah, very tiny gap right there. And that's it. Yeah, so those are the only two gaps, and we also have order blocks right here to here. So we could get a retrace back into, possibly back down to this gap would be nice, because that would give us a nice deep retrace, and that would present a good buying opportunity in Tesla to continue pushing back to the upside. So they might just use the first gap here and take off from there, because we've had lots of strength in this.
So you say they might take off from now? From where? From here?
Yeah, because they came back and touched the first gap here with this red candle. So this candle created the gap. But once it closed, and you see it closed above the previous candle, so there's lots of momentum to the upside. So the next candle, they open and they drop it down and touch the gap. So that might be it. That could be the only touch you get, and then they could take off. That's possible. Now that it can still also come back down to take out these lows and come back in. So, you know, sometimes they take off, sometimes they don't. So it's always, you always have to be a little patient and wait, because you might be suckered into jumping in at this point and then they pull back. And then, of course, when you don't jump in, they take off. So, you know, you can't win half the time. So it looks like they're looking to go. But the beauty about the game is that if they did take off here, you know, they can still pull back one more time to give you a chance to get in. So, you know, um, I'm still looking for them to come a little deeper into this gap, and maybe possibly come down to this one. It's still a possibility, but so I'm not going to give up on that. So let me go back to the NAS. Okay, so the NAS, they came very close to taking out the low, but they did not. We've got a change of character here. We're retracing back into a gap here.
We got a nice drop in Tesla.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to be a little patient because you go in a bit too early. So they came very close to that second. So this looks pretty good here for the NAS at this point for a buy, but I'm still a bit leery because they didn't take this low, and it's kind of, they still could do that. You know, they might just be mean here and drop it down, take out this low. So it doesn't hurt to say, okay, maybe I wait to see if they go above that guy and come back in, then that'll give us a 1-2-1-2. So sometimes it's not so bad to wait for that, but at this point here, it still looks pretty good. So if you took the risk, your risk is very small. So that's the one thing I like about it. So let me give it a shot. I'll take a buy right here. So my stop would be below the low. So in the event that I'm wrong, which it looks like I might be wrong right away, my loss is not that huge. And if I'm wrong, and it looks like, again, see, they're coming down to take me out. So I was wrong. So you see, that's what they do. They fake you right out. And it looks like, oh yeah, we could jump in here and we can go. But then they come down and take out the low because they didn't take this low. And I was skeptical about that they didn't take it. So they decided, okay, well, let's take it now. So here we go. So this is the actual structure. So they're very smart, very, very sneaky. Now, I don't know if they did the same thing on Tesla. Probably not. No, they haven't done it on Tesla. So we see how it's interesting that with Tesla, we got a 1-2 there. We got 3, 4, 5. So it's still possible that they might do that. They could still come down, take out that low one more time to come into this gap that I was expecting them to come to in the first place. So they're very good at manipulating price. Let me bring this over more. Now with Tesla, of course, there's so much strength in Tesla. This could be where they turn it around. So we came very close to touching that gap. So they might still come in and touch it, and then off we go. I'm going to try to get back into NAS here. So we did take out the low. We came back down into this gap that I thought maybe was in play. Yeah, so we could be turning around for legitimately now at this point. Because the next gap is way down here. I wouldn't expect them to come that far down. Well, Tesla looks pretty good right now. And the NAS is starting to look a little better here now for a buy. I'm going to try the NAS again because I've got a fractal. So in essence, now I've got a sweep. At this point, I've got a sweep of the low. And we're getting this move up. So we need to come back up and take out this high and a retrace, something like that, and then continue. So we've got quite the tail on the candle so far that's opened. We opened, and now we've got this big, huge tail. So we open up here, all tail. So I'm looking for a 1, 2, 3 in here to get us out of here. So with Tesla, hopefully that's the bottom here. They don't go back down and take that low. It looks like they might want to take the low one more time, unfortunately.
If you look at a compressed 1 minute
Yes,
chart for Tesla, Lennox, if you look at a compressed chart for 1 minute Tesla, it just looks like we're in elongated wave 4.
Yes, we're definitely in a wave 4 there. So yeah, they're very nasty here on NAS. They come back down to take that low one more time, which was a possibility. So yeah, by a tick, I had my stop there 1 tick below that low, and they took me out by a tick. So that's mean. Okay, so that's 2 strikes. I'm going to give it another shot because I still believe we're heading up and out of here. So I'm going to try it again. And stop below the low. And they're taking the low again. Wow. Okay. So they came back. So I won't put the stop on at this point. I'll leave the stop off for a moment, looking for them to come back up. So we're just, they're just tailing it in here. They're just making tails. So we should push out of here now, I would expect. So now I would need a breach of this high right here. Even to come above that high right here. So a move like this, and then a retrace. That will give us a quick little 1, 2, 3 bottom here. Let's see where we are.
I'm looking for them to.
Oh, they're still going down, eh?
Next series down here, which is right around. It looks like it's about 6 handles down from current.
They came back. They came down to the order block. Interesting. Okay. So it's going to be a tail again.
If you take a look at a 5-minute chart, you'll see where the next group is. You see right about in the middle of your chart there, the big blue.
The big 5-minute gap. That big 5-minute gap you're referring to?
Well, the leg up from about I can't read the number, 930 goes up to the top of, that go up to the height of that, right there. It looks like they're coming down to take out those stops. But they should have been taken out already.
Well, these will be sellers over here, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, they're sellers.
Yeah, so those are sellers there. They've already been taken out over here.
But it came down to that area again. So
yeah, so they came back down in here because there are gaps here. There's a big 5-minute gap. I wouldn't expect them to come all the way back down in here. I don't want to see them come back down into this area at all. Right? This is a no-no area for them to come back. So it looks like that we're turning around now and we're heading to the upside. So I was just a little early getting in, but I think we're good to go. I think Tesla is probably ready to push out of it. Yeah, Tesla is pushing. I jumped into Tesla because it set up really nicely here. So I jumped in with 500 shares and I've caught this nice move. So that's what I would have expected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're done. And then we get a 1, 2 here. So how we take out the previous high, come back in. So this is the setup that we're looking for. And then we get this move out of there.
yeah,
Now they're taking out these guys, take out these guys next, and continue up. And what's the target? If I go to the 5-minute, the target would be, can't see it, 15-minute, can't see it, 30-minute. There it is. Our target would be these guys over here, up in this area at 251.
Okay.
So that looks like a reasonable target. on this big push. So I won't get too greedy. I'll keep it at right where I am, 251.10. Let's see if we can make it to that level. Now there's a big gap here, and we're basically in it. So we need to get through that gap.
And NAS is still having difficulty getting itself out of this current position.
It's starting to go, but it's a bit tepid. So we've broken the previous high. So we could get a pullback. There is a gap here. We could get a pullback into the gap, and then we could continue pushing up. But it looks good now that we should continue going up here. So when Tesla takes out the first high on the 1 minute, this high here, that you could take a little something off and let the rest of your shares go. So that's looking really good. So I'll do that right now. I'll take off 500. Let's take off 300 and let the rest go from here. So that's a real nice push on Tesla there. I'm still holding okay, take some off now. So we'll leave 200 to continue going to the target. So that's a nice move on Tesla, eh?
Beautiful.
I can put my stop into positive at this point now because I don't expect them to come back down anytime soon here. So I'll lock in profits as well and look for that target up at 251. So looking for a 251 target. Oh, there's a lot of highs here. So you see there's a lot of equal highs here. So the highest one is 251.58. This one is 251.84. So 251.84, 251.58. So anything above 251 would be a good target. So I could even push it up a little bit higher just to take out all these highs. I would think that they would do that. All right, so NAS should be following suit here, pushing up, and it is finally. And now I can take a little bit something off on the NAS. And that it makes up for my losses, and I'm good. Now can just go. Put my stop into positive. No losses on either. So we're looking for a target now for the NAS. Let's see where the NAS is heading. So because I have a 1, 2, 3 bottom at this point here, you can see we can shoot for even these highs up here. That's totally in the cards, but you don't have to be too greedy. Let's go for these guys here. That's reasonable right there. Even that high there looks pretty good. So that's a reasonable target right there.
Which one?
The previous high, just above these highs here in the middle.
Oh, I see where you're at.
Yeah. That's a reasonable target.
Okay, that's a nice target, that's for sure.
But there's no need to be greedy at all. You can just, even if you just got to the previous high here, that's a good target. The 5-minute gap was not in play. So that's a very strong move on Tesla.
You have your 3 Heikinatchi green candles on Tesla 5-minute, George.
Yeah, yeah. Let me take a closer look. Oh yeah.
That's incredible that Tesla going through all the stuff that they're going through, people burning up their cars and all this stuff, and the stock's still climbing. So that's quite interesting.
Well, they caught 3 perpetrators, and they're in jail now.
Oh, you did catch him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing that there's so many cameras on those cars that you wonder why these people even tried this stuff. Well, I guess they don't know what's on the cars because they have something like 6 or 8 cameras on those cars.
Yeah, and Musk said he turned something else on all the cars. I can't remember what it is, but he turned some other
Yeah.
Sentry device on. So anybody that's fooling around with these cars is doing so at their own peril.
It's so amazing that all these people that were for the Tesla because it's manufactured in the United States, it was making so much money, etc. But now that they're against them, they're destroying the cars. I mean, these people are crazy.
Well, it's just crazy people, that's all.
For sure.
Some people just don't know when to give up.
We have a slow grind here now, and a little bit of a lull. So now we're taking out the previous. We finally got a true change of character at this point. This is like a minor one in here.
Yeah.
This is a major one. So we could see a pullback. There is a gap here. We could see a pullback to the gap before we go, but sometimes they don't do that at all. They'll just continue because of the strength of the move. So
But on my charts, they're slowly walking their way out of it. They're not doing it with a heck of a lot of gusto.
if I were to get a pullback to this gap at this point here, I would add to my position to continue. But you can see they're not pulling back, so. So I've got about, how many more days left in the month here, George?
Yeah.
We've got another week before the end of the month. And I'm at 1,879,000 now, so I've got a little over 100,000 to go to get to 2 million.
You'll get it.
So 100 grand in a week. Yeah. So you see our 4-hour candle, it's all tail now. It did come quite a ways down though. back into the second candle, but it is a lot of tail. So we're in the tail of the candle right now on the 4 hour. So looking for that big, huge. So it's probably best to take profits off at this point because they might pull back again before they continue. So I would take some profits off up here and look to jump back in again with some more to continue up. I'd like to see them sweep this high. So I was saying that Bitcoin was doing something similar to these guys as well. And we were sitting, when we were looking at it, Bitcoin was doing a similar move in here. And then they dropped it down 5 waves, sweep, and they go back up. Not much retracing here at all for you to get in. You had to get in like immediately, and so that you see how they break this high, and they don't drop, pull back whatsoever, and they just go. So sometimes this is what happens. They just go without pulling back, and you missed that opportunity. But that's a beautiful setup right there. That's what we're looking for. But we wanted to see a pullback here, but there's none. So it's unusual not to get a pullback, but this happens sometimes. And so you might miss a trade because of that, but that's okay. You here we have that gap, and that gap, this candle closes high above this one. So the likelihood of them pulling back into the gap becomes very small. So it's not happening, and they just take off. That's a really nice move on Bitcoin there. We're trying to juggle 3 instruments is tough.
Oh,
you have to make a choice.
That would be impossible for me.
So Tesla's moving nicely. Should see NAS push up. S&P's moving nicely. Tesla's still going here. I can move my stop up a little higher just to lock in these profits. Let's go to 600.
Okay.
Really nice move, Siri.
Yeah,
Taking out the high, so I'm
my
gonna take the profit at this point because
my
I'm
last
expecting
one,
them to pull back a little bit. So I'll
yeah.
take the profit. I might be wrong, and they could just continue straight up without me. But
They could, but that's all right.
I'm looking for
I got enough.
yeah, I am looking for a pullback. So we'll see if they do pull back. If not, then that's fine. I could always come back in again. I could keep moving my stop up as well. I have the choice. But that's a nice profit there. So let's see if we get a pullback, maybe back down into this gap. And I would buy some more at that point. I won't do the same in Tesla. I'll leave Tesla alone. I won't take any profit off on Tesla. I'll just let it keep going. So we'll see which one of them continues, and they might both continue. I mean, they both will continue if that's the case, right? That's a nice move. So once they break this first high, we would expect a pullback to, a possible retrace of this to back down to 50% even. That's even possible. So let's just see how much of a retrace that would be if we went to 50%. 50% takes us back below the gap. But that's totally possible that they could do that.
I'm just not sure what they're going to be doing right now. They're at a nice peak.
Can you show me the gap on Tesla and the retrace? Just the same thing you're doing on NAS there?
Okay, so Tesla is a little different. There is a gap on Tesla right here. So I would use that gap right there. So I'm marking the gap as to this candle because the gap technically should be to this candle, right? That's where the gap should be. However, I'm marking it to this low candle because these candles are already taken out all this area of the gap. So this area is no longer in play because it's already been taken out. So I use this low as the gap now. So it's possible we could pull back into that gap before we go again.
Okay.
So I've got a 1, 2, 3 bottom here. This is the key. And I've got this move up, and now we're just chopping. So it is definitely a possibility that they'll pull back into this gap before they go. And why would they do that? They do that to take these guys out. These are buyers here. So buyers in here, these buyers here have been taken out already by this guy. So right there, they were taken out. So they can come down now and take out the last bunch of buyers before they decide to turn it around again and go back up. And that gives us our A, B, C, D, E type movement.
What price is that? 246.72 maybe?
Which price of the gap?
The bottom of the gap there, yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't use the bottom of the gap as the gauge. I would use the midpoint of the gap. So let's say 246.50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but now Lennox, Tesla has been going down for quite some time now. So the market makers have been buying puts, right, to protect their positions.
Yeah, so now they have to cover because it's going up, right?
Now, because it's rollover time,
yeah,
they have to sell.
They have to cover their positions.
And buy June.
Yeah.
So the net effect is that price should be going up.
Up, that's right. And that's what it's doing. So you see how price came in and touched into the gap right there. So that might be enough because they've taken these guys out here now. So anybody who was buying and put their stops here got taken out. So now we could see the price pushing back up. So we want to see them take out this high, give us a 1, 2, 3 here and continue.
Right.
Let's see what NAS did. Okay, so NAS pulled back, hasn't pulled back quite.
It hasn't really pulled back that much.
Not much as I'm expecting here. So But that might still come down a bit more. So keep watching that. So Tesla's coming.
And
Back a little bit.
NASDAQ never made it to the height that I was looking for.
Yet, not yet, anyways.
So if this comes back a reasonable amount, I can grab some more.
It shouldn't take this low here on Tesla. They might, but this should hold. Nope, it's not holding. They took it out. Wow, that's so mean. So
I'm
they
expecting
give.
that to really overload it on these puts.
So they came pretty low down here on Tesla. My stop is just below this blue candle. I might be a little tight with it. You don't want to get stopped out at this point.
Oh, you're still in it?
Yeah, I'm still in Tesla.
Oh, you like to get the cream of the creme.
Well, what I did with the NAS was I took the profit off at the top. So that worked out nicely. And I'm looking for the pullback, but I'm thinking Tesla won't pull back as much. And they have pulled back quite a bit, actually. But they're hanging into that. This gap is really holding. So let's see if it holds. So you see the midpoint of that gap is playing nicely here. We could just get a tail of the candle here and continue.
To me, when it hits a reasonable high like that, I just unload everything, because if it's going to come back, it's going to come back.
Well, sometimes
amount, you know.
Sometimes it doesn't retrace too much, and it just continues. So
yeah, but it's not that you've been at a loss.
No, I mean I got profit. That's what I did on NASDAQ. Like I say, I took the profit and looking for the pullback. So it's working out on NAS. So now it's come back into the gap. So I could buy some more now on the NAS and continue back up. That's what I was expecting here. But 50% pullback takes me down here. So do they have enough to come all the way down to 50%? Would be the question.
Yeah, see, NAS should pull back a little bit more too. Yeah, we'll just try something under here.
The Tesla's still not done going down. I'm gonna have to be careful here. Yeah, they took me out of Tesla, so that's fine. I had a positive profit, so it's all good.
I put a price 3 handles below, and it went below the area I was talking about.
So they did go through that gap. So there's another gap below right here. So let's see if they hold into this gap at this point.
Well, they're right into that gap. It looks like they hit the bottom of that gap.
All right, so they've touched the gap right dead center. And let's see if we bounce off this at this point now. So you know I'm trying to see the structure coming down. So the structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be it now, and we should be able to. Yeah. If you wanted to buy Tesla at this point, this would be a good buy in the 246 area here.
I got my buy in at this point.
And we could look for you can wait for a breach of that high, and then a retrace. And that will give you the 1, 2, 3 bottom. So nothing wrong with doing that. And let me look at NASDAQ again. Okay, so NASDAQ is in there. I would like to see NASDAQ drop through this gap. Don't know if they will or not.
Buy 246.42.
So nice profits on Tesla and the NAS there, so that was,
that
was good. So it looks like the NAS is coming down through this gap here. So the order block is holding us up.
Where do you see the order block there?
This is on the NASDAQ.
Oh.
So are you looking at the NAS?
No.
Okay.
I can't trade the NAS. I can trade the Tesla, but I can't trade the NAS. So.
Well, on Tesla, there is an order block as well, and the order block is right there.
Okay, hang on. Take a look here. Just switching screens. Okay, so you see it.
There's an
The
order
bottom
block
of the order
there,
block
and then we came
right
into
there.
the gap below the order block. So that they're leaving now nicely. So that's a buy on Tesla. So I'm looking to get into the NAS here. So it doesn't look like they want to come down any further.
First target out already.
What's the definition of an order block, Lennox? That part I'm missing.
The order block is right here. We have two red candles. Oops. So the two red candles show a block of sell orders right here. So they call it order block. So it's a block of sell orders, these two red candles. So that would constitute an order block.
And at the top,
so it's the last down candles before the up move. And up at the top here, we have a series of order blocks, blue. So there's the last up candles before the move down. That constitutes an order block. And at the bottom here, there's another series of three of them. So that constitutes an order block here because there's three blocks of orders, of sell orders. The last down candles before the move up. That's the definition of an order block. So a block of orders at that point. So I'm going to buy the NAS now. I'm buying them back on the move up, the pullback. So hopefully that will be enough for them to go. They do have equal lows here, so it is possible for them to have tricked me and come down and take these lows out one more time, come back into the order block. But they've already touched into the order block, so hopefully that's enough for them to say, let's go.
yeah, well, it's still a little bit negative momentum at this point.
So Tesla's making a nice move. So we've got a change of character right here. So a pullback, there's a gap.
I mean,
Will they pull back? Maybe, maybe not, right?
Yeah.
We would like to see a pullback, but it doesn't mean that they're going to pull back. You could just keep going straight up. But we typically want to see a little bit of a pullback here, but we'll see.
I pushed my limit a little bit higher.
46.
I think it'll take out the top.
247.
I need to get this thing positive. Come on, get me positive. I can't get positive CCI yet. Whoa,
So it looks like we're getting a pullback on Tesla.
getting a pullback on NAS too. I didn't want to see it that far back.
So we'll see whether we got a gap there. So are they going to touch that gap on Tesla? Okay, so you see NASDAQ, you see these equal lows? Tempting. They could easily just tail it through there just to take these guys out. And that would give us a structure that's reasonable. See? And then we could go again. So that looks like that's what they're doing. Oh boy, they're sneaky. So you see, that's just what I thought that they were going to do. They might do. They do that. So they're going to take these lows because they're too tempting for them. They come back and take these guys out. Lots of stops there.
There they go.
Yeah, so they've taken them out. So that will put Tesla into its gap or buy. Because I don't think Tesla is going to take out its low. So it'll just go into the gap. They're going to leave these lows alone. And this is a buy on Tesla at this point at the 246.50 area. I could be wrong, of course. They could come down and take these lows. I wouldn't expect them to. Well, I'm going to have to add to my position here on the NAS to continue going up. So now I take a big risk. But they did come to the 50% retrace by taking these guys out. We want to see them break this high now.
Yeah,
Retrace and
nice.
give us that 1, 2, 3 at that point. So that's what we'd be looking for.
So I don't have the momentum I'd like to see. I want to take this thing out again.
Oh, they're being very mean. See what a 5-minute looks like. 5-minute looks good. We have a 5-minute gap there, so they're hugging that 5-minute gap. So the 5-minute gap is in play and holding. So we're right on. We touched the 5-minute gap 3 times. So we should bounce off that.
I'm looking for some positive momentum now to push it up to the next one.
We're into algo time now. Algo's just kicked in. So this should give us a big momentum push up.
It's almost 10 after 2. Oh, give me just a big push. Big up candle, fellas. Boy, this morning I didn't realize that it was so close to 9:30 and I was in a trade and I had my target pretty far away from where I was at, but boy, it came on and it spiked something unreal. It went way through my trade, but it gave me all the profits.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
But this gap
But it
is
was
no
silly
longer
of me to be in the trade, you know, because the charts weren't what I would call that exciting a look at that point. But once I realized there's not too much I could do about it.
Yeah, we're not getting a big push out here like I would have expected.
Yeah, I was expecting that too, but it's having problem picking up momentum. Really having problems doing it.
They need them to break this high. Really feel good about it then.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. Why don't you want to get some momentum behind you? Okay, we need another one.
So, your analysis, you still see Tesla hitting 251 maybe today?
Yes. That's what I'm
Trying now.
gunning for. 251 target on Tesla.
Trying now to get it there.
So right now we do have a nice 1, 2, 3.
One more push.
We've got the sweep.
Come on.
We've got the sweep
another
there.
push.
Get a nice push out of here. Take these highs, get in the retrace, and continue pushing. Is what I'm looking for there.
Come on, push.
246.
Need NAS to go here.
It's the wrong kind of push. I want an up push, not a down push. Look at that. Holy mackerels.
Yeah, they're playing games. They're accumulating here.
Okay. That tells me I should be doing this.
They never make it easy. Are you looking to take those lows out again? Come on, guys. That's enough.
They took it
Yeah,
out.
taking them the lows out again. Interesting. So they're coming back to sweep one more time. Interesting.
Are they sweeping one more time, or are they just going to let it go back all the way down to?
You know, I don't think they're coming down because our structure, 5 minute here, our structure is intact to go to the upside. So yeah, it's just a pullback, I think, to continue. We've got a huge 1, 2, 3 here. We've moved up to this area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So moving up, we should be heading out. Should be. Tesla, look. Tesla has got similar. Big 1, 2, 3. Big move up. 5 ways in there. Now we're making a new. We should continue. Now, of course, we could slide sideways for a while in here, of course, but
Yeah,
because it's that time of day. But I'm looking for a big push. We are in algo time, so I'm looking for that push out of there, but in the algo here.
Yeah, well.
It come back into that gap again.
Gonna work today.
So they're being very mean here. They're sweeping everybody who went long here. So
yeah, it means that they were so overloaded with stuff that.
So this is a buy opportunity again for. I'm going to buy some more Tesla here. Buy some more shares here.
Okay, now
Even if I just get a run back up to the highs, that's reasonable. But
I'll even take the sub high.
I'm buying Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin's doing a similar thing. So I've got Bitcoin, NASDAQ, and Tesla going. Need to go here now. Because they've swept twice now. So they've swept these guys here. Now they come back again.
Yeah.
We should have enough now to go.
It's just beginning to try again.
Bitcoin's moving nicely.
I shouldn't talk too loud. Come on, get positive.
Bitcoin's really moving nicely. And there goes the NAS. Nice. Let's see Tesla. Tesla's doing nicely. Okay. So my Bitcoin, I jumped into Bitcoin. It's around the same point. It's really nice move on Bitcoin out of that congestion. So I'll take some profit off on Bitcoin right away.
One more shot. Come on, one more.
George is talking to the market makers.
Yeah.
So looking for another push here. So we need to take these highs, which we just did by a tick. Can't draw straight here.
Oh, Jesus.
There. And these ones are the ones we want to really take.
And you still have momentum.
At a 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, and then come back and then go. And hopefully not too much of a comeback on this portion here.
Is Tesla doing the same thing?
And Tesla is. So we're looking for Tesla to take out these highs here. We've got the same type of setup. So something like that, and then a continuation. Would be good.
Okay.
All right.
That's all the fooling around I want to do.
Have a target? No target. So let me set a target. I just set a target for this high here. 2,500. Let's see if I can go 2,500. $5,000 target. I'll take some off at this junction here if I can get there.
Oh.
We're getting our move now, George.
Yeah,
Slowly but surely.
I'm out now anyway, that's right.
Still not going as fast as I would like. So we have a gap here. We come back into the gap twice. We should be going now.
Okay, I'm ending with 210 handles.
That's great.
That makes it my biggest week this month.
Very good. How's Tesla doing? Is Tesla leading the way? No, Tesla's still struggling.
Tesla's in a down mode right now.
Yeah, you're really struggling to get out.
It's even struggling more than NASDAQ was struggling.
Bitcoin's just doing nicely. This gap better hold. No, that's not good.
Wow.
You don't need to take this low again. That's not necessary. Why would they do that?
You know, the bid and ask difference on the current NASDAQ is 17.
This is a surprising move that they'd come back to take this low again. Very unusual move.
Whoa. I made a nice move on that, getting out of that trade. Wow. Sometimes you do it right, George.
So then the Tesla has come back to take that low again as well. Interesting.
Yeah, Tesla.
Very surprising move there. I'm a little surprised that they did that, but there is a gap there. There's a little bit of a gap there, so they come back one more time just to be mean. Tesla hasn't taken that low though. Interesting. They might drop into the gap, and there's an order block right there at the gap.
I don't think it will hit that low yet.
I'm surprised at that move, but not, you can never be too.
I thought it would be going up at this point in time. So what you're thinking logically about it. I'm talking about Tesla now. Well, the other one too. I really got out at the right time.
Okay, taking the low again, so we're getting another move down.
Half a handle from the current peak.
So I've got I'm inside the 5-minute gap, but they came into the 1-minute gap.
Wow, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, quite interesting, eh?
Yeah, yeah. So it's going. It wants to go down 35 handles at this point. I mean, potentially it could.
So coming back into the 1 minute gap like that.
Yeah, they came back into the 1 minute gap.
Do you think they're done, or are they going to keep going down?
I don't think they're going to keep going down. I'm hoping that they turn around here.
Everything I'm seeing on Tesla is in a down mode at this point.
We're touching that. We did touch the gap. Interesting. No, I think Tesla's going to go back up. It's just a matter of them bouncing off this gap that we're in. So the thing still looks pretty positive. We've gone up we've had quite a run. That's for sure. We're right up at the top, but I think we have one more push to go up, possibly here. We're right in the middle of this big gap. Yeah, so this is a big fourth wave here. So I'm on the 30-minute time frame. There's a huge 1, 2, 3. We went into the fourth wave. Now we've got 1, 2. So we're in a fourth wave here, and we need one more push out to take out the highs.
Yeah, I had been using the 10-minute chart for a while to try to make sense of it, and telling me that this weakness is there.
I'm not giving up on it to go up here, so, or the NAS.
Well, actually, it looks like Tesla is weaker than the NAS. Yeah, by a lot, really.
Green. Should be red. Wonder why those were green. Should be red. Yeah, I'm still looking for a push out. There've been.
Well, we get a nice push on the NAS now and on Tesla.
There we go. That's the move we want. So they're bouncing off that 1 minute gap.
Real gusto in its move too.
Well, when I look at Bitcoin's really leading the way. I mean, look at Bitcoin; it's just rocking here. That's the kind of move I'm expecting in the NAS and Tesla. But they're being a bit slow to do it. This gap is no longer in play. This line comes down to here now. So we've made a breach of the previous high here, but this would be the big breach. We'd like to see them break that high right there. But this high is reasonable at this point as well. Okay, now we're getting a pullback.
You're on Tesla. When I'm looking at the 10-minute chart, it looks like we've peaked. Momentum is beginning to fall, but there's still a lot of big money at the higher positions. The 10-minute chart, and you'll see that it really looks like it's finished wave 3, and we're working on wave 4 right now.
So here's the overall structure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So
Okay,
we should be going one more time here because we have a 1, 2 here. So this is 3, 4. So we should be going up one more time to take out these highs. Would that give us enough push to get us 251? I'm hoping that's the case.
on my 10-minute chart, that's not showing that.
251 is not that far away.
Okay, well, you got a nice move on NAS, so I don't know how high we can expect this to go. It's just beginning to give us positive momentum. But the question is, are we going to be able to break those immediate highs?
Okay, a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom here. So again, they've come down. They've swept everybody out.
It looks pretty nice.
Got a 1, 2, 3. They pull back into the order block. We get another 1, 2, 3. We need to push out of there. Take this high now. So still looking pretty good overall, but very tepid.
Yeah, it's not an ideal.
As is
picture at
trying.
this point.
As is trying harder. So we've got a nice 1, 2, 3 now. We've swept all these guys out. We need to break this high. They could retrace here. And we do have a gap there, so we could retrace back into that gap, but we have a pretty strong bullish candle there, so we might not retrace at all. So let's hope they don't retrace and continue pushing up here. All right, so we had a big strong bar here that made the gap, so it's not necessary for them to come back to the gap. We should be able to just continue, but they might come back. You know, it's the thing. Yeah, they did. Okay, so they came back again. So now we should get a bounce off. See how that sometimes that rule doesn't work. You get a strong bar that closes above the middle bar of the gap, and that typically should cause price not to come back to the gap, but it doesn't always hold. So you can't use that as a die-hard rule. It's kind of a guideline. But I tell you what is doing quite well is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just rocking away here. I'm up quite nicely on this. And where's my target for this? My target's right there. So I can make my target even higher than that because I can see that I have double 1, 2, 3 here. I've got lots of room to make it up to, even to these highs here. So I'll put my target up at the high. And look for a breach of these highs here, which we're right at. And a breach of these highs. And then we're in free reign territory. Go into the 1 minute. I'll move my stop up into positive here.
Can I show you what I think is happening on Tesla or Lennox?
Sure.
Okay, let me just grab my screen here. Okay, sharing my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay, so we had a 1, 2, 3. This is a 1 minute chart. We had a 1, 2, 3 bottom down here, up to 3, down to 4. This is wave 4 all the way down, delineated by these yellow lines. And so we need a 1, 2, 3 to push us out of here. And
we've got it.
Maybe I don't see it. yet on my
Right
chart,
there,
but
right, your lowest candle there on the right.
here,
Yeah, and then we can move up
1,
and
2,
back
3, 1, 2,
down.
3.
And
Yeah,
we
we
should
might
be on
have
our
back.
way out of there now.
Sorry.
We should be on our way out now.
Yeah, I think we're getting close. I'm looking for it to jump above this top
That high
yellow
there,
line
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But I think we're probably, let's just draw another line right here. You know, this may be, we may be getting there.
Yeah, it's still a bit tepid. They're not leaving in a hurry, that's for sure, which is a bit disconcerting that you want to see them get out of there quick. But they're taking their time to leave.
Well, that happens in wave 4, like when you least expect it. When we least expect it,
They leave.
you know, this is the low point here. I don't see it going any
Yeah.
lower than that because this is the 1, 2, 3 over here.
Yeah.
It's not going to go any lower than here. And so I expect that we're going to push out of here imminently.
Yes, that's my expectation as well. It's just a matter of how imminently is.
Well, patience is a virtue in this game.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I'll let you have the screen back.
Yeah, good analysis there. Thank you. So what Peter is doing and showing is that he's using the trend lines to mark off those kind of moves. So if I were to put, I'm on the NAS right now, but a trend line on the NAS like that gives us the break of their supply or resistance to the upside. So that's a buy opportunity right there if you wanted to go in at a late date on that move. And the demand line or support line would be right here like that. So that's giving us support right off that gap, and then we're pushing up quite nicely right now. So I'm going to take some profit off because I can. After waiting all that time, I might as well take some profits off and then let the rest go to target.
That's a nice move right now, Lennox.
So Tesla should be doing similar. Yeah, Tesla is doing the same. So Tesla's demand and supply line are pretty much the same. So there's one here, and that was the last one, and then one at the bottom would be right here. So very steep demand. So we're getting a strong push to the upside off those.
Yeah, that's a bullish triangle.
Yeah. So that was a very good call on that, and you can see it. I can see it from this level, the 1, 2. We go up into 3. So inside of this move that I just drew up, there are 5 waves in here. That takes us up. They push one more time to the highs on that leg, and then we go into an A, B, C, D, E move, and they take out those guys. So the A is here, B is here. This is our number 3 point. This is our 1, 2 here. This is our C. This is our D, and this is our E. So what typically happens is the A is taken out by C, and that's what they did. And then the D sometimes might take out the B, but in this case, because we're on an angle this way, they're not doing that. So they're going down, taking out E, takes out the C at that point. So that's the last sweep, and then we get a 1, 2, 3 bottom, and another 1, 2, 3 bottom. And then we're heading out. And what they're doing now is the D, which has liquidity above it, and the B, which has liquidity above it, and number 3 point that has liquidity above it, are in jeopardy. So they take these guys out on the way up. So anybody who sold up here thinking that was the top are all taken out on the way up. So that's the ploy.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, so you have to be patient, and sometimes you think, oh, this move here, and then we're done and we're going to go. And you see it's a ploy. They fake you to go in, and a lot of people pile in with their stops in here and so forth, and stops under here, of course. And so because they're making this A, B, C, D, E pattern, they fool everybody and they take everybody out. And so you get another one and you think, oh, people think, oh, okay, this is it now. So they pile in again, stops underneath here as well. And so everybody piles in thinking, okay, this is it, they're going to go. And they again take you out because it's an A, B, C, D, E construct. And unless you're an Elliotician and you're aware of this, you're going to get taken out. So there's the move that we were expecting and looking for all this time. So it's a beautiful thing if you can see it.
Yeah,
And
very good.
I'm glad you can see it there, Peter, because that's what it's all about. And we have an edge on.
Wait for the E wave.
Yeah, your teachings have really got my head around reading the charts properly.
And we have a huge edge on traders out there who don't believe in this or can see it. So, and even you can see, I mean, I've been stopped out a couple of times today because I jumped in a little early, thinking that, oh yeah, this was it, that type of thing. So you can still get fooled even when you do understand what's going on. But you don't get dissuaded. You still hold to your analysis, and you're looking for that final move. And you see how they played it. They came right back into this gap with the tail, and then they make the 1, 2, 3 at this point, and again another 1, 2, 3. So you can enter here or you can enter here and catch the move still. So it's really beautiful once you understand what's going on and you can see it.
Well, once you understand Elliott wave as you describe it, it takes the fear out of trading, because when price is going against you, if you know how to read the chart, you realize that there is going to be a turnaround.
Yes, and you don't have to panic.
Yeah, right. That's a very good point, Peter.
Yeah, no need to panic whatsoever. That's why I always say, there's no fear, there's no panic. It's just,
I know
okay,
that's
they're going against me a little bit, but that's okay,
I had one loss today, and that was because volatility was so high. As soon as I put my trade on, it blew me out. I mean, it was as soon as I pressed enter, boom, it came in and out. But I ended up with an 89% success rate today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. 89%, wow. I'm going to lock in some profits here, move my stop up a little higher. Lock in profits, but I'm getting close to my target at that point. So I'm just looking for them to take out the high, and then I'm good. But we could certainly be a little greedy on this and go for higher moves. But the 251, I think did I go for? Oh, this is NAS. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm thinking this is Tesla. Okay, so I can actually move my target to these highs here. This is where they're going. And even to that high there is definite possibility. So I'll do that. Mark it up to about that high there. So that's kind of where they're gunning to take out these highs. And the reason why I can look at those highs up here is because of this 1, 2, 3 here. This 1, 2, 3 here is controlling the entire move. So, and this is where Armin, if you look at the chart and you go up to the higher time frame, you find the 1, 2, 3 that's in charge of the entire move. So this is the one that's in charge of this entire move, and you don't want to be going against that. So you don't want to be selling against, you want to be buying, because this 1, 2, 3 bottom is telling you buy to the upside. So if I put the fibs on this move from this I'm putting the expansion, fib expansion. I'm looking for 1.618 as my target. So 1.618 is way up here. So it's telling me that I can go all the way up to there as a target. But, you know, you don't have to be greedy. You can take profits off, and the previous highs are reasonable, you know. So, but it's telling me I can go up to 1.618 as a target, or, you know, even 1.272, 1.414. This area, and it's an area, right? So I can come up into this area for targets because of this 1, 2, 3 bottom here. So right now they just made a little lull in here, and then they're making a new 1, 2, 3 to push us to that level. So if I can stay alive, which I didn't, they took me out on my stop, but that's okay. And that's the thing, you know, if I move my stop up to protect profits and they take me out, that's fine. I can always get back in, and that's the beauty of the game. So I never look at it in a negative way. So Tesla, they're pulling back quite a bit. And maybe we're totally wrong here, right? Maybe they're saying, you know, hey, let's just fool these guys completely and come back and take out the lows. You know, that's totally possible too. But, you know, I wouldn't expect that, but it's not what I'm expecting, but they certainly can do that. Because they are in charge. Well, let's see that's a big pullback. So it was a good thing that I moved my stop and took some profits off. I didn't take any profits off on Tesla, unfortunately. So now I'm kind of in a little bit of limbo on Tesla there. So
on Tesla, there's a double top on Tesla.
My stop loss for Tesla, I put it below the number 2 point here. I think I wouldn't expect them to take out that number 2 point. If they did that, then I deserve to lose the trade here. That's where I put my stop on Tesla. Yeah, I'm expecting them to go back up again, but this is a very nasty downturn at this point. Not liking that so much.
Maybe just buy some more.
Yeah, I could buy some more, but I've got enough at this point, so I should have taken some profit off, and I would neglected to do that because I came back up to the highs. I should be taking some profits off at that point. Take half of it off and, you know, move my stop up just like I did on NAS. I don't know why I didn't do it on Tesla. I'm not sure why I didn't do that, but that's what you should.
All that's happened is prices come back into the wave 4 channel, which it invariably does, you know, and is touching the upper delineating line of wave 4. So I don't see it going any much lower because it's done what it normally does. It just snaps back to the channel and then it goes up from there.
I'm a bit surprised that they came back that deep because there is a gap right here. So, you know, that might have been enough for them to come back to and bounce, but that would have been a little bit more nicer looking for our structure. Structure-wise, that would have been great. This kind of move way back into this area I don't like to see. So it's telling us that they're going to have a struggle getting back above this high now. So they might make it, yes, but it's going to be a struggle, more than likely. So, but with NAS, yeah, see NAS, they came back into this gap without going much lower. So that's not bad on the NAS there for that retrace. Still a bit deep, but get rid of these lines.
See, price pulled back into wave 4 channel on Tesla 1 minute, and now it's pulling up again.
So Bitcoin also took a little turn back.
Yeah, we got about an hour left here.
We're into a macro at this point. So So they look like they want to take me out here, maybe. Wow, that's not good. Not liking that. It's a small loss if I do get taken out, but I don't like losing. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be, no, they just swept that low. I'm right below number 2 point. So if I can't be safe below the number 2 point here, then yeah, and they've taken that number 2 point. So that's very interesting that they did that. So this number 2 point right there has been taken. Very interesting. And they're coming back into the gap. So that's quite unusual move here. We get the sweep. We wouldn't expect them to come back down here again into this gap. So they've come back and touched it. They came back and took out the number 2 point on this 1, 2, 3. We had a change of character here. We closed above it and everything like that. So we wouldn't have expected them to come back and take out even these lows in here. So that's a very nasty drop here. So something is awry why they wouldn't continue up and take out these highs. So they've taken all the liquidity out for the sellers on this side, except for these guys. And now there's liquidity sitting here. So that's the only liquidity here. There's liquidity sitting here, and that's it. So we would expect that they would go back up and take them out, because there really isn't anything down below. Let me take a look at the NAS now. NAS is precariously sitting on the edge here as well. So again, same kind of thing. I wouldn't expect them to come and take out this low here, because that is our 1, 2 that started the move. So we get this move up, retrace, yes, no problem. You can retrace, but you shouldn't be coming that deep to come back all the way. But the thing about a 1, 2, 3 bottom is that you can retrace 100% before you go. So there's no rule that says you can't retrace 100%. It's very unusual to see that. It's typically, you know, again, 50 to 62% retrace, but you can retrace 100%. So until you break this point here, it's still a 1, 2, 3 bottom. Okay? So it's looking pretty good that this is a buy to continue going up. Let me just see on the seconds chart how it's looking. Yeah, that's a great buy there. Let's see how Tesla looks. Tesla's still a bit suspect. Tesla looks like they want to take out this low. And they have. Wow, amazing. So 245.75, 245.67. We've taken the low. So the order block is the only thing left there. So this is a very surprising move here, Peter. I would not have planned for that type of takeout. Hence the reason I wanted to put my stop here. If they take this low, then the likelihood of them taking this low is very high. So putting your stop at the number 2 point, if that doesn't save you, then your chances of this one being taken are strong as well. So now we've swept again. So we need to see them break this high and give us a 1, 2, 3 here to continue. Okay, so we can be patient to wait for that, or you can be impatient, like I usually am, and jump in on a fractal here to catch it early. Okay, so you have that choice.
Oh, it looks like a double bottom there. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's like a double bottom, but it's a sweep. So they did sweep through that low. So this is the last bunch of stops that were here. So they've come all the way back down to take them out, which is rather mean on their part. It messes up our A, B, C, D, E as well, because this was our E. Our E should be solid. E should not be taken again. Very unusual to see that being taken. Then we get this big, beautiful move up, taking out this high. We should be coming back in and going up from here without taking out the E. But they have taken it out quite a bit here too. Eh? So the order block is what's in play. There isn't anything else over here. There's nothing else for them to come down to in here. So we should turn around and go back up now. I'm going to look at NAS again. So NAS is already saying goodbye to that. So they need to take out this high. Which they have not. I have an inverted gap here. So we'll look for them to possibly pull back into that inverted gap, maybe. That's quite a stretch down there. They did come back quite close to it, so it's very close. Will they come back again? Maybe. Okay, Tesla looks like a nice buy now. But again, we can wait for the breach of the high here. We're getting a gap here, maybe. This still has 40 seconds left in this candle, so this gap might not be there. Okay, so we've broken above the high. And looking for a retrace now. They might not even give us a retrace because they kind of have already. They came back in twice with these wicks, but they hadn't broken above the high yet. So now that they've broken above the high, I'd still like to see a retrace, but they might not do that. There is an order block there, so we could come back to the order block and go. So we want to see that move, that retrace, because that gives us our structure. You want to see that structure. There we go. We're getting that move back in now. So the closure above is beautiful. So that's what we want. We got a sweep there. That's good. We got a sweep here. That's great. We get that move up. And now we're coming back. And there's an order block here. So they might just come to the order block, but I can see that we're going to come down into the gap because we have a 1, 2, 3 here. And so this should take us down to the gap. So let's see if we do come down and touch it. If we do, I'm going to buy. And here we come. Very close. That should have been a buy right there. Yeah, that's so fast. So they're going to come again one more time. Let's see if they break that low. Yes, and that's so I can buy it there now, and I'm taking a risk now because they're coming down fast. They can take that low out, and they did. Wow, they're mean. So you see, you would think that would hold them at this point, and would be good, but they say no. Let's go get these guys at the bottom. Let's go take these guys out too. See, so it looked pretty good that we swept, and we were good to go, and we'd get that move, but they said no. So they go and sweep it again. So you see what's happening now. Because they sweep it again, then that means you have to wait for them to break this high before you can get your 1, 2, 3 to come. You see, so it's
We're
very,
exactly at
very
3
sneaky
o'clock.
play there on their part. Boy, they're good. Oh my word. So this gap is no longer in force. And I'm looking for them to turn this around now. Okay, so I got stopped out of my Bitcoin as well. So I moved my stop up into positive on Bitcoin, made some profits. So look at this, they're going down even further. Wow. Okay, so they're being mean and nasty here. So I've got 1, 2, A, B, C, taking out these lows. All right. So my stop would then be, the only place I can put a stop is below these lows down here. So that's where I put it. Yeah, they're very good. They're very sneaky. Look at how much they came down and took everybody out. That's so mean. So why are they coming all the way down here with a wick? There's no reason. I mean, there is a gap. There is a little, oh my word. You see that little gap over here? This little gap. There is a tiny gap, and there's a big order block of 3 candles, but there's a tiny gap there. And if I put a line there, let me get a line, a horizontal line on that gap. It's so tiny. It's right there. And if I go back across, see, they came right into that gap. That's just crazy. That's how precise this stuff is, right? And for those who don't follow ICT or know his stuff, this is the precision that he shows all the time. That the price is always very precise when it comes to these areas and targets with incredibly uncanny precision. And this is a good show of it here. So the thing about the looking and reading the charts, you have to be flexible all the time. You can't just get stuck into one thing, because as soon as you do, it changes. There are rules, yes. There are guidelines, yes, but you have to be. Some of them have to be really flexible. I mean, our 1, 2, 3. There's no flexibility in the 1, 2, 3. It's just a static move. When we get a 1, 2, 3, it's static. It's either going to retrace shallow. It can retrace mid, which is the normal. It can retrace 3/4, or it can retrace 100%. So it's very technical in the sense that, yeah, there's only so many retraces that you can get. It's static in the sense that you can't bend any of these rules. Like these are rules that are fast. If you break this low, then everything is out the window. It's not a 1, 2, 3. So in here we started getting the 1, 2, 3, looked really good, jump in, that we could go, but then they break the low. So that nullifies your 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as that. So you have to look for a new 1, 2, 3. So there's a new 1, 2, 3. So if they break this low, that nullifies the 1, 2, 3. But until that time, it's a valid 1, 2, 3. So if we break this high, then we look for a new 1, 2, 3 to continue, because this low should be solid, unless you're in some kind of a downward mode, and that can take you out. So that's the way it is. So this gap now is no longer in play. So it was just this order block and this little gap down here that they came back to. So quite interesting here. So Peter, when you looked at the 1, 2, 3 at this point and looked at this move, and it looked pretty good there that we were done here, which is what we would expect. Now they've done this move and come back down. It's very odd. So they've really messed up the structure. And it's, now you look at it and you think, okay, what's going on? What have they done? Why have they done that? And it's very odd behavior there. So it's messed up the entire structure that we're, expecting. The breach of this level is very disconcerting. So everything changes because we've now broken this level and closed below it. So now we're not going up anymore. We're actually heading down. So it's a bit odd. And they're coming into this area and breaching this area. It's not good. It's not good. It's not boding well for going up anymore. You see? So they left these guys alone up here. They took out these ones. That was the last one. So that was a sweep. Then we get this move down, up, back in. And now we're heading to the downside. So everything has changed from going up to going down now. So you see? So it's just like that. Just like that. So the rules have changed now. So I guess in essence, what they're telling us here is, yes, we had 5 waves up. You can see on Tesla, it's a much more pronounced 1, 2, 3 over here. We had a much more pronounced 1, 2, 3. We came up. We did a chop in here. They came down. We are expecting this move up to continue up. But they're saying, no, we're not going to give you a 5th wave. We're not going to give you a 5th wave. And we're going to turn it around and go back the other way. So that's what they're doing. So did S&P actually take this high? No, they did not either. So they're just not giving us a 5th wave here. So we would expect a 5th wave. At this junction, we would expect a 5th wave to go back up and take that out. But they came down, made a weak effort at it, and then turn it the other way. So perhaps triple witching day is having an effect. S&P still, you can see we're in a 4th wave here. So S&P, we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then we're in a 4th wave. So we're doing A, B, C, D, and E. So looking like maybe they want to take this low on the way down here. And then we would turn around again. So we're in a big gap here, which has already been mitigated actually on the S&P. So let's see how the NAS looks at that point. The NAS is similar. So the NAS has a large one gap here, but that's been mitigated as well. So it's a larger 4th wave that we're in. So we're getting this A, B, and a very short C, D, and then E leg. So will they come and take this low? Or will they turn it around and continue? So I'm still expecting them to go back up, but we're just stuck in a 4th wave, a larger 4th wave. So let's see Tesla. Tesla is similar, right? So Tesla had the nice 1, 2, 3 here at this point, a big one, another one here, and then we get this move up. And now they chop it up and down and taking out these lows. So we're still in a 4th wave. It's a crazy one. Looking like they want to come and take these lows. Very, very good. Very good on their part. They're very good at it. We have to give it to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our 3. There's our 4. There's our 5. And then they chop it up. E leg. Looking to take these guys out. Equal lows right here. So let's see if they do that. I'll use this low. Yeah, that's where they're coming to take that low out. So that was the ploy. They made it look like they were going to give us a 5th wave and then changed their tactic and said, no, we're not going to give them the 5th wave here at all. Let's just take out this guy and leave these ones alone. So there's lots of liquidity sitting up here. Let's leave them alone. Let's go down and take everybody out that bought, even these guys that bought, and maybe even these guys that bought here. They're going to get taken out. And then we can look to go back up and take everybody who sold out. All these guys who sold. So all these, there's lots of sellers here, you know, coming down. Lots of sellers underneath these lows, above these highs, sorry. So they're looking to turn it around in this area. So we're still looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom to go back up. So that's an entry right there. See how the NAS looks. So it doesn't look like they want to take that low. Buy on the NAS there. So I'd buy that NAS right there and put my stop below the low for to say that they're not going to come down anymore and take that low. Let's see if that's correct. Looks like we're done. Seconds chart looks pretty good as well. Although the second says maybe we can come back one more time, but hopefully not. These guys are gone. These guys are gone. You need to take this high out. This should be getting a similar move. Yeah. Well, that's a quick move. I'll take a partial on that real quick just to grab something. All right. Make up for any losses. Move my stop up a little bit, not too tight. Because I'm expecting a pullback here. So where they're going to pull back to, I've got a gap here. And I've got a gap here. Oops. Tesla should be doing similar. So we're pulling back into the gap on Tesla. So that should be a good buy right there on Tesla. Let's buy Tesla. Stop on Tesla below, maybe below the candle here. Go down onto the tail a bit. Let's give it a little bit of room. They take that low. That should be enough. Our previous high would be the target because they left all these guys up alone up there. You can see a breach of this high. Oh, they're very slow coming out of there, eh? That is a little better. So I'm up about five grand today so far, but it's been a battle. Still, you guys are playing hardball. Tesla's really playing hardball in here. Nasdaq's doing a little better. But is this a ploy? You know, when they don't leave quickly, sometimes it's a ploy and they say, oh, let's go back and take these guys one more time, and just to be mean. So that's possible. Got my stop pretty tight here just in case that happens, but We've broken above this high. That's the previous high. So this will be the next high that we want to see broken. That would be really good. But they can still come down and take us out. They do have a nice 1, 2, 3 though. This gap has to hold, otherwise it's all over but the crying. Structure-wise, I could go down one more time. You can see that. So it looks like Tesla took me out, unfortunately. Yeah, Tesla said, nope, I'm not doing it. So they're going down one more time to take that low. Maybe. NASDAQ is still hanging in there, but just by a thread. They did come through the gap just by a tad. There's an order block there. It didn't take the low. Interesting. This gap is no good. Actually, I could keep that gap there because it's an inverted, no, it's not an inverted gap. There's inverted gaps on this side. It's an inverted gap here. So we're using the inverted gaps to act as support. So the gap is coming down, so it's a bearish gap. So you put it in and then it acts as support as you go back up. So they haven't taken the low, so that's interesting. I had my stop just a bit on the tail, and they took me out. So
The double bottom on the 1 minute chart.
yes, it's a relatively double bottom. We got a 1, 2, 3 bottom. We need to come back up and take out this high, or even these guys here. Get that move to go, something like that. Or a shallower one like this. NASDAQ is still holding. So NASDAQ, they didn't come down and take the low, which is what I expected them not to do, but it was possible for them to do it. So this would be the interim reach. Would be nice. Short term. Okay. So now I don't have any gaps in here. This gap is no longer in force. So that's a very nice push on NAS. Tesla should be doing similar now, yes. So I was just taken out by, unfortunately, by too tight a stop there. So I have an inverted gap here. Let's see if they use that as support on the way back up. So if price comes back into this gap, I could buy some more to continue going up. A nice 1, 2, 3 now. I'm looking for another 1, 2, 3 to continue. S&P is the same. So there was no divergence here. Thought maybe there might have been a divergence, but there wasn't. So Tesla is still, you can still get in. We breached this guy. So a retrace back in would present a buy. So same as NAS. So we'll look for a breach of that guy. A breach of this guy to come. So there, that's a buy on Tesla again, right there. The only other possibility here might be that they're fooling everybody because we have relatively equal lows. We could chop in here, and they could drop it one more time. That is a possibility. Because I'm seeing a downturn on Bitcoin that looks like something that they're doing. So it's possible that they might be doing the same thing here. Have to be careful. Let me just stick to the NAS. Why is this thing so slow all of a sudden? Come on. I don't have anything running. My computer has decided to go into slow motion, or I don't know if it's trading view or what. What's going on here? Here we go. Okay. So it looks pretty good on NAS here. Can we get above this guy? So I missed buying some more because I'm frozen. I'm going to move my stop into positive because I'm not liking the looks of Tesla and Bitcoin at this point. They look like they want to fall, but especially Bitcoin is really dropping. But just in case. See how Tesla is having a hard time going up. So they could be looking to take these equal lows out. Our inverted gap is holding price very nicely though. Was. They're looking at they want to take those lows out. Unfortunately, yeah. See, it's very sneaky on their part. They look like they wanted to go, but there is that equal lows here and these lows here and the gap down here. So yeah, they can drop it through one time. So the NAS could do the same. So I move my stop into positive just in case they decide to do that. But looking good on the NAS that we can still continue going up, interestingly. I'm gonna bring my stop up a little tighter. So if they decide to turn back, then I'll be taken out. But yeah, interesting on Tesla here. It's a battle right now. But the 5 minute is saying, yeah, I'm going to drop through. So it's looking like this is a fourth wave. So we're doing our dance here, where we get 1, 2, and then we get 3, and then we get A, B, C, D, and then they come up and entice everybody to go long, and then they'll drop it down again, take everybody out. So I think that's the inducement here. So this is our 3, this is our A, this is our B, this is our C, this is our D, and now we're going to give an E leg to take C and A out, perhaps. C at least anyways, but they might leave A alone, and then they'll come back down, take everybody out, take out D and C and A because they're still intact. So that's likely the scenario that they're gonna use here. You can see that NAS could do similar as well. So NAS, we've got 1, 2, we've dropped, and then they're doing the A, B, C, D, E this way. They're doing it in this angle. So they'll go up, take out these guys here, and drop it back down, take out these guys here. So give me a little bit of profit taking these guys out. Looking for one more push above this high. And then all bets will be off that they could come down. If they can take this high out first, though, that would be nice. So we're coming back into the gap. We should bounce one more time. So the difference between Tesla and NAS is that they're doing the fourth wave this way on the NAS. And then with Tesla, they're doing it flat. They're doing it in a flat way, like almost a triangle, but like that. So they do it so that you get messed up. If you're not looking at it, you don't see it. You're not really looking for it, you never see it. So it's a very good ploy. So I would still be expecting them to come up and take out these guys here, and possibly these guys. Possibly. I say possibly there. We're on the NASDAQ. I'm looking for a possible takeout of this guy here. My inverted gap is really holding. I stop up a little bit more here into midpoint of the gap. Let's go to 250. So I'm just moving my stop up because I'm hoping I'm wrong and they continue going, but I'm kind of seeing that it's a fourth wave and they're just playing everybody, and they're gonna just take this out and then drop it back down. But I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I don't want to exit the position. Even though I've got, relatively nice profit, I don't want to exit the position and get taken out, or exit the position and it continues going up, I should say. So I'm going to bring my stop up a little tighter here as well, lock in some more profits. So where are they going to? There's a gap here, but it's already been mitigated. So there's only one gap left way up here. So on Tesla, we're getting that similar bounce. So is that enough for them now that they've taken this high and we could turn around? So I've got a 1, 2, 3 here, so we could go higher. Okay? And there's a gap here, a little sliver of a gap left. We could go up into that, and then we could turn and come back. So yeah, these guys are really good, really, really good. So you have to be on the ball all the time. I keep saying that, but it's true, like I'll bring my stop up a little bit more. Again, I don't want to bring it too tight, but so that might be it. That might suffice for them to turn this thing back down. Tesla, they took the highs. So now they've cleaned these guys out who sold. So all the sellers now are gone. Okay, from here, there's only this group right there that's left. So everybody else is gone. So that might be enough for them now to say, okay, let's go back down and take all these guys out. You see the structure? They could take this one as well one more time, because we do have a 1, 2, 3, so they can do that. They can do that one more time and take these guys as well. They say, oh, so these guys think they're safe, but they can go back up, take them one more time, take these guys one more time, just to induce more buyers to go long here, because buyers are under here. So all the buyers are still safe down here. So all the guys who bought are thinking, oh yeah, we're good. So they can go up one more time, take these sellers, take these guys over here as well, and then drop it down in a hurry, which might be right at the macro time. If you see the logic in it, that's what they're likely doing. Go back to NAS again. Okay, so I got taken out, so no problem. I got some profit on that. So are they done? Is that enough for the NAS at this point? So if Tesla has another move to the upside, that means NASDAQ would retrace this move, and that gives us a sell on the NASDAQ to come down. And Tesla would make another move to take out the highs on both those previous highs that I just pointed out. So that might be what they're doing on Tesla to go back up one more time, induce the buyers to go up. And NASDAQ will only make a 1, 2, 3 here and continue down. There's my structure. Now we need a 1, 2, 3 here to drop it down in the macro, which is 8 minutes away. So let's see where Tesla is. Yeah, so they're going back. See, they're going back to get that high. And they've taken them. And these guys next. Yeah, taking those ones out as well. So there's only these guys over here. We're in a gap. So is that enough? We don't want them to come into past this point because that's our 1, 2. So we're right in there. We don't really want to go up in here. They can wick into it, but that should be enough, and then we should be coming back down. That's what I'm seeing, but I could be wrong, right? You know, that's kind of what I'm seeing, but I could.
So we're not going to get to 251 today.
Hmm?
We're not going to get to 251 today.
Doesn't look so. It looked like they fooled everyone to make it look like they were going to do that. I still could be wrong here, and I mean we do have a 1, 2, 3 bottom here, and another 1, 2, 3 bottom, and we are trying to push out, but it's kind of thinking they're going to come down and take everybody out down here. It's looking that way, but again, I could be wrong. So NASDAQ has got the 1, 2, 3 set up now. So if I were a betting man, I would think that, okay, it's a sell here, stop above, and we're going to come down. Come back into a gap. So this is very interesting point here. So I'm going to try that sell at this point because that's a really nice setup for a sell. I stop it above the high. It's not much risk. I'm looking for them to come down. I'm wrong, I get taken out. Tesla should just be wicking up here. Oh, they're going higher still. Wow. Okay, where are they going? Why are they going up there? There's a double candle order block. We don't want to be breaking this high. You see, like I say, I could be wrong, and they're really pushing it to entice the buyers right now. So maybe we should be turning back here.
If you go to the daily chart, there's a lot of resistance there.
In the daily chart of Tesla.
Right.
Yeah, remember we were saying that we've come all this way down to this level, and they could be just they're going to chop it up and down in here. We could do all that kind of stuff in here before they continue down one more time. That's a possibility, right? So, I mean, this is a very strong daily bar there. Yeah, I certainly could be wrong, and we're going higher, right?
Yeah, well, they're saying this could be a bottom for Tesla. Musk came out quite strong and said, things like asking his employees to hang on. There's going to be lots of profit to come.
Looks like I might be wrong.
It's not the words he used, but
it looks like I'm wrong. I mean, they're pushing higher and higher here. So,
247.
It's very, these lows were tempting. Now they're looking like that 151, 251 could be in play after all. So I'm boy, there, you see that? They're pushing up very hard here. So yeah, maybe they're still going for 251 at the end here. Very interesting. Look at that. So I'm totally wrong. They fooled me because it looked like at this point that we were going to just go back up and turn. And now they're saying, no, we're going up. So they've taken out these guys here, taken out these guys. There's only the highs left. So my NASDAQ is toast, obviously. Oh, I'm still alive in NAS. That's crazy. Why is NAS not going up? Okay, that makes no sense here. You see that? Why is Tesla rocking it up and NAS isn't going up? That's very interesting here. I'm going to bring my stop down a little bit because I don't believe the NAS here. I think the NAS are going to go through since Tesla has gone through that much. Quite interesting. Yeah. Figured they would take the high then because Tesla has made such a big move. So we're at 2 minutes before the macro. Interesting. So I was quite convinced here that we were in a fourth wave, and they were just tricking us, and they were going to drop it back down. Interesting. Okay, so Tesla says, no, you're wrong. I was in a fourth wave, but I'm not going to give you a fifth wave, is what it's telling us. We're not going to give you a fifth wave at all. We're going to leave these guys intact, and we're going to go up and take out all the buyers, or the sellers, sorry. So they've taken all the sellers out except for these guys now, right? So everybody's gone now who's sold. So the only sellers left are here and over to the left. Anybody over to the left is higher. So he did get 1, 2, 3 bottom, 1, 2, 3 bottom, which looked like a fourth wave. Another 1, 2, 3, another 1, 2, 3, big move. So we should go up more here. Right. So quite good. NASDAQ taking out the highs. We're in the last minute now. We've got 20 seconds left. Wow, this is still a tough one because it still looks to me like they want to take out the lows. Still look like they want to take those lows out. So I've got 10 seconds to make a decision. And that's it. It's all over. They're going up. Interesting. So that's what it was, Peter, all the time. We had it correct, but they fooled around in there and messed us up.
Yep.
They're going to take the highs. Very good, very good. Very good. So now they're taking all the sellers out. One swift candle. And we're heading up to 251 on Tesla. That's very sneaky on their part there, because they made it look like they were going to come down and take out the lows. And our higher time frame said no, they're going up, and that's what we should have stuck with, that they're going up, because we came back into this gap, and we should be going up. But it looked like they were going to take this out one more time, and then give us that move up. But they did not. So they're very sneaky. They're very good. So at this point here, if we look at it really closely, we've got a 1, 2, 3 here. We drop down, they chop it up. So it looks like they're going to do this, and then we get our 1, 2, 3 to go back up, but they don't do that. And that's a very, very good play on their part, and then they just leave. So what we had was our 3, our A, our B, our C, our D, our E. Sweep. Now we're looking for that sweep here, which we just got. We could get a pullback and a continuation. So very, very good. These guys were swept. These guys have been swept. So the only liquidity down here is here and here. And these guys have been taken. So you always have to look at market up this way. It helps because it gets you familiar with where the liquidity is sitting. So liquidity is sitting here and here and here. And so these guys are gone. These guys are gone now. So there's no one left except number 3 point. And they're going to be taken next. And these two are these areas here are still liquidity levels, but we're heading to the upside. So these are not in play anymore. So very good ploy on their part there. They really fooled me. They looked like they were going to get one more drop. And I was waiting for that one more drop, and I would be able to get my 1, 2, 3 to go back up. And they fooled me. So very good on their part there. I still made profits anyways, you know, but it's you missed the bigger profit by them fooling me here, thinking that we're going to drop one more time to take out these lows first before they went up. But this is what you would expect, because we have 1, 2, 3, so we expect that they're going to do that, take these guys out, give us the 1, 2, 3 to go. But if I could get it right every time, wow, eh? But that's, you know, this is a very good ploy, and it, you know, the expectation for our structure is that we would get that drop, and they don't do that. So right here, when we crossed, when I saw Tesla pushing up and way up here, Tesla's up here, NAS is still in here. I could have bought here just to go, you know, once I got stopped out, pull back, I could have bought, you know, so that, you know, wasn't even thinking about buying at that point, just kind of checking the whole thing out. But that's a definite buy opportunity since Tesla was pushing ahead and showing the way. So high up, how high up did we go on Tesla so far? 249. Well, so 249, not bad.
It made it to the high point I had posted.
49.
133.
So they're still a little bit away from the high. 251. 251.50. So that was the expected move, as we pointed out earlier, that we were in a fourth wave and we would get that move up to take out the highs, but they really made it. They really faked us here to make it look like they were going to drop it one more time.
That was my target from yesterday.
From yesterday, wow. Okay. So there's still room here. We got another 5 minutes. So they can still push it up one more time to get up to 251. Still a possibility here for Tesla to do that before the close of the day.
I have to go, Lennox. Have a good weekend, you guys.
All right, Peter. Thanks for dropping in.
Good weekend.
Good trading on your part. Thanks for the analysis.
Yeah, thanks. Good show. Lots of learning.
Indeed. All right. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Oh,
Great strong end, as I would say. So will they push one more time to take out that high before the close? Perhaps. Perhaps not. So that's a nice macro move there. Nice macro move. Sweep. Sweep. Boom. So Armin, how did you make out there, Armin? Did you catch this? Did you stay in to go long? Is Armin with us?
still there.
I hope he stayed in there to go long because, yeah, they surely fooled me here. Looking for that one more drop here in this fourth wave. Definitely a fourth wave. It's just that they're not giving us the fifth.
Yeah.
Did you catch this move, Armin?
A little bit.
Did you stay in? Yeah.
I've been scalping $1 here, $1 there.
Yeah, this is a tricky one here. Very tricky one. They're very good here. Very good. So that's where our structure fails. You don't get the fifth wave. The expectation that they would take out the buyers. It's you have to expect that after a 1, 2, 3. You have to expect that they're going to do that, and they don't do it. So it's about 11% of the time is what the probabilities are, but it's happening a lot more. I would say I would even double that up to say 20%. Say 20% of the time. It's happening a lot more often now than it used to. You don't see that. So how did S&P do the same thing? Yes, S&P came down a little lower here, but almost. Yeah, quite interesting. There goes Tesla taking out the high, so expected that. So they're going to touch 251 before the close. One minute to go. Might not make the high before the close.
It's got a ways to go for that.
Got 20 seconds left. I don't think they're going to make 251. But pretty close there, 249.50. So from this morning, around 11:30, let's say this was at 2:30. So from 11:30 to 2:30, they made a large 1, 2, 3 bottom. So this is the key catalyst right there. That's on the 15-minute time frame. So after we break that, this is a sweep, and then we're going. We can target these highs up here, but when you come down the lower time frames, you get caught in these kind of moves down and this kind of stuff. But if you stuck with your initial target of say 251, at the end of the day today, you'd be up at 249. So you could then be taking your profits off, right? But it's tough. you know, we did it all the time on the hourly, you know. We just played the hourly 1, 2, 3s and went to target. So if I put a 1, 2, 3 fib on here and looking for 2.618 target, which is right there, which is 249.15. That's the target there. Mid target 1.618. So target here first, and then looking for 2.618 is my second target. And the reason I choose 1.618 and 2.618 is I like the 1.618 and the 2.618. It's not anything about that it has to go there or whatever. It's just most of the time, the probability, it's just probability again. Probability-wise, price will most of the time go to 1.618, 2.618. So this 1, 2, 3 would have, that's a profit taking there, and then you could let the rest go. So if you're playing off the 15-minute time frame, you can just get in and just let it go that whole time to that target, and then it would have been hit. So, and then you don't worry about all this stuff in between.
Yeah, the noise, right?
So on the hourly, if we're playing this on the hourly, it's a totally different thing. So on the hourly, I mean, it's a different thing in the sense that you were looking at a larger move, but we find the 1, 2, 3, which is right there, and we do the same thing. So if I'm looking at 1.618, my first initial target would be right here, and then my second target would be right in here, which is at 242. So 242 area, I'd be looking to exit, and then there's 3.618, which takes me up to 249.63. So there are 3 targets there that were reachable from the hourly time frame.
The targets are in red.
Yeah, these points here. I'm looking at the 3.618, 2.618, 1.618.
Yeah. What are the
but
other?
Again, it's an area. It's an area. It's not just a point. I can, if you're setting a target, of course.
What are the other green numbers for? Like, I don't understand.
Those are okay. So it's this this indicator calculates the distance from point number. Let's call it point number. Let's call it a 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. So it's calculating the distance between point number 2 and point number 3 to these targets.
Right. So you're actually putting the fib on one.
Yeah, putting the fibs on. It's a fib expansion. So it reaches 100% profit from here. 100% profit would be at right here. So that's a 1-to-1, essentially 1-to-1, right? If you went in with $100, you'd make another $100, right? So if you wanted to make $168, $161, $162, 1.618, that's 160. So that's 1 to 6. Well, 1 to you get it, right? 1 to 1, 1 to 6. Then you want to go 1 to 2.262, 260. 261, right? That's 200% plus, right? And then 300% plus. So that's the kind of calculation that it's doing. So the other numbers are 2.72 and 2.414. So it's just an area. And in that area, you could go to 2.7. So 2.27. So it will be 1 to 2. 7, right? 1 to 2, 7, 1 to 2, 1 to 4, 1, 1 to 6, 1. So that's the kind of ratio you're getting. Actually, this is not 1, it's 2. That one, this is 2, 2, 6. Anyways, you get the idea. So yeah, that's what the calculation does. So that's what we, George and I and Peter and the previous, when we started off, we were playing only on the hourly time frame. So we're looking just for the 1, 2, 3s on the hourly time frame. So we'd get into these trades here. We put our stops below, and we'd be looking to take our targets at the first set of 1.618 1.414, 1.272. These were our three targets areas that we looked to get out. Once we did that, then we could wait to see what happened in here, because we know that this is a fourth wave area, and then we want to catch another 1, 2, 3 at that point to catch the next move. So you see how that works. So now I can move my fibs over and catch the move out of the fourth wave if you wanted to. You didn't have to, because on the hourly time frame, once you get into a move like this, it's a lot of profit you've just made if you made it to your targets. So you don't necessarily have to go and jump in on at this point, but if you wanted to, you certainly could. So now we're looking again to do the same thing, get back up to the 1.272, 1.414, 1.618 as targets and get out again. If you wanted to continue higher, you certainly could, because the targets are over here too, right? They're going up to those previous highs. So that's how we played. So it's the same thing as we're doing playing on that 1 minute chart. It's just that the 1 minute chart, of course, is much faster. It's doing the exact same thing. You just have to be a lot quicker to get in on these 1, 2, 3s. Again, 1, 2, 3 to get in, 1, 2, 3 to get in, and go up to target. Quick money, that type of thing. So nice move at the end here, and unfortunately we weren't in it to catch that nice big move, but that's okay. The key is to be able to understand what's going on and be able to react and move with the market and so forth. And sometimes, the expectation doesn't come to fruition. Again, my expectation that, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, yeah, it looks like a nice 1, 2, 3. So let's play it. I still make profits there on that move, but it starts to look more like, okay, it's a fourth wave that they're playing in here, and because I have a 1, 2, 3 here, I have to look at it as a fourth wave that will collapse and take these guys out first, then give me the 1, 2, 3 to come back to take this move and take these guys out over here. So that's what I was hoping to have happen, and they don't do that. So in that case, I missed the move, even though I had a chance to get in at that point to catch the move. But it's very, very, very sneaky on their part right here. That's for sure. So on that note, we'll call it a week and a day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I have to go here.
All right. Me too.
Thank you for the.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Explanations. Yeah.
No problem,
you,
guys. Thanks very much for dropping in. Really appreciate it. For those on YouTube, if you found this at all educational, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We'll appreciate that very much. Have a great, strong end, everybody.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have a
Thank
link
you.
for? Do you have a link for the YouTube?
Yeah, it was put in the room there earlier,
Okay.
so maybe
If you just type his name into YouTube, it'll come up.
just type in Forex Mentor.
Forex Mentor. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a quick question, Lennox. Can I?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you're looking to for like the highs for the take profits, are you simply looking for the last fractal, or are you looking for like the high over everything?
Okay, so on the NAS, let's go to Tesla, because Tesla was a nicer look at it. So here on Tesla, the previous high over here would be a good target, because yeah, it's a fractal, but it's also the high, right? And the high is usually a fractal, right? A low is usually a fractal, right? So anytime you get a low or a high, it's always a fractal.
So do you target the fractals before you target the highs, or?
No, it would just be a target for the high. But one of the things about the high you have to be careful about is that sometimes they don't take the high. So there'll be sellers here, yes, but sometimes they'll come short of it and leave them alone, come back down, do their thing, and then eventually come back up to take them out. Similar to what we just saw happen to us here, where they leave all these guys under here, there's still lots of liquidity, right? So they're going up now, maybe to take these highs real quick, and then they'll come back down, take all these guys' liquidity here. So perhaps on Sunday or Monday, sorry, when they open, we might see them open up low, because we're inside of this kind of structure. See? But yeah, so I'm looking at the high, but you have to always be careful. Sometimes you don't want to really go for the high, because, you know, try maybe the body of the candle or something like that, the open or close of the candle, that type of thing.
Okay.
As a target.
Just play it by ear, whichever one is more sensible. Well, go for the high.
Especially
They may not always think out the high.
Well, especially when you're in a situation like this where they're chopping up like this. It doesn't they don't necessarily have to take the high on this move. So you have to be aware of that. So by setting your target for the high or higher, you might not reach it. They don't have to necessarily take the low. So you want to just set your target a little bit above, you know, just in case. I mean, sometimes of course they'll go through, but you know, that's okay. You still made profits, right? So it's all good.
Yeah, a lot of the ICT traders, they'll aim for the order block, basically the end or the beginning.
Yeah, you can go for the order block in this case. That blue candle, yeah, that's certainly fine. You know, the open of the candle, something like that, is the close of the candle perhaps is good too. Another thing, the wick, you can also use the wick and you say halfway of the wick is as a target, because they'll likely come into there, but without taking the high.
I tend to use the beginning of the wick more than often, because I noticed that there's a lot of reaction off of the actual open and close it off the candles, as opposed to using like the middle of the wick. I'll just say candle opened here or candle closed here, and then it formed the wick. So I'll put it like right at the beginning of the formation of the wick.
Yeah, I mean that the wick in what ICT says, the wick of a candle, the tail or the wick, like this wick right here, it's a gap as well. It's considered a gap. So the midpoint of the wick is in play. That's why I say the middle, because it's a gap, and anytime you get a gap, the midpoint of the gap is always in play. So the wick is considered a gap. So keep that in mind.
So I tend because what I'll use the wick as is more of like maybe a supply level or a demand level, and I'll say, well, if it's a supply level or demand level, then it might not necessarily, it's more of an area than a level. So I usually, I don't tend to go beyond the wick too much.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. Like I say, like in this case here, coming up, we got a 1, 2, 3 bottom. So we can easily target the high, and maybe even a little bit more than that, because we can see that our 1, 2, 3 bottom has enough to take us up there and beyond. So in this case, I would, you could easily target the high, right? You don't have to go target midpoint of the wick and all that stuff off the candle. You can certainly target the high, but when you're coming up close to a high, you have to be careful, because they might not take the high.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem, sir. Have a great one. Take care.
Have a good weekend.
All right, George. Take care. Thank you.
Everyone, have a good weekend.
Stacy, thank you.
Thank you.